All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right, welcome to the 150th episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Mike Singletary episode because our guest, while a good coach and leader in my life, sometimes can be a little hard on me and may kick me out the game.
Nice.
That's a good analogy.
Nice.
I feel good about that, although I'm gonna have to deal with this at home. You know what I mean? But as always, I'm all right. We're gonna start over. Because I fucked up the as always,
Which
is crazy.
We gonna have to keep
all
that.
I am is I'm one half of your host in tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partners Pod. 150 episodes, man. 150 episodes. That's crazy.
That's a lot. That's 50 past the 100 we did down there at Pittsburgh Playwright.
Yeah, I was just talking about that 100th episode, man, with Seaback and Fetterman and Baron Batch. But yeah, 150 episodes we've been asking you, and we want to continue to ask you, man. Please hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know what we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well, and that's how we continue to do well. So please hop on iTunes, rate and review.
Yeah, you love us. You see us in public. You tell us you love us. Now at the click of a button, just tell the internet. You know what I mean? Just go out there and let the people know. And as always, and this will not change, all right? Nah. It don't matter, 150 episodes. We're going to keep telling you this. In lieu of rates and reviews, we will accept shots of Hennessy. Shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conway.
Shout out to, yeah.
The Conway took it to another level, too, because now for Halloween, you got to dress like us.
Yo, that was wild as hell.
That was wild as hell.
Yeah.
And your reviews, they don't have to be nothing crazy. We're not asking you to write a dissertation or a thesis. You know what I mean? Just let us know you like us, but also let us know if there's something that you want us to do, if there's someone you want us to interview. Give us feedback, because we try to feed the city. We try to feed the culture. But if you just love us and you just want to show us love and give us a 5-star review, you can do so, and you can leave a review just as short as this. It's called Funny. The review is called Funny. All right, it's just called Funny. It's by ZC-1829-2801. So I don't even know if this shit is real. Like, it's just
like the Russians.
I feel like
the Russians are trying to
I don't know if RoboCop left this review. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
They on to us.
Now this is one of those freaky Facebook friend requests where, like, if we click on this review, they gonna start sending us naked pictures and shit. Because the review is just called Funny. It's by that weird name. I don't know what ZC stands for or those numbers. And the review is very funny with an exclamation point. And we'll take that review. That's the review. I don't even know, I don't know if people read that review and get interested
very
in the podcast.
Like, that is a great, that might be like top 5 reviews.
It's a real good review, but we also might have to put a minimum character limit on the review. Like, give us at least 5 words.
I'm going to have to start checking my motherfucking, my accounts and shit, man. Like, I feel like the Russians are on to us.
Yeah, they on it. Like, listen, we have a 5-word minimum on our reviews, so instead of writing very funny, just put this shit funny as hell, and we'll take that. Like, that's just dope.
Yeah, because a robot ain't saying this shit funny as hell.
Nah, well, it depends on what robot. Because I saw an article where now they're making sex robots for women. So they're making like male companion robots for women.
So like smart motherfuckers.
I don't know what characteristics these sex robots have, but I know, like, in the ad for them, she was cuddling with him. She was like, the lady was like rubbing his feet. Like, it was weird as fuck. Like, why would you get a sex robot and rub his feet? Why can't you, if you rubbing feet, why you can't find a man? Like, I don't understand that.
I feel like there would just have to be some sort of dialogue. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's, I don't know.
I mean, his dialogue probably as bad as mine. Like, yeah, word. Like, that's all. Like, he has a limited vocabulary. You know what I mean? Like, it's only so much a robot's gonna be able to tell you.
You talk all you want and they'll still be attentive.
But in this, so let me tell you, so in this video I saw, like, they had a dude that was making the penises. Like, he had to make the penis of the robot. He was like shaving it down. I'm like, that's holding it by the balls and shaving the penis. I'm like, that is the worst fucking job.
It's a craft.
How do you even apply for that?
A sculptor.
How you sculpt penises for a living, fam? And you sculpting sex robot penises, like this. You might be sculpting a penis that you jealous of. Like, how do you do that as a man? Like, how do you sculpt the penis?
Because they got to make it realistic. Like, it ain't even. Because they can't even plastic mold like that. Like,
I don't know how to
get the dude. It's just plastic. Like plastic mold that shit. You got to sculpt that. That's wild.
I don't know, dude.
That's probably why they gonna be millions.
When you go home for the holidays to talk to your family and they ask you how's work, do you say, yo, I made a monster today? Like, what do you say? Like,
a lot of satisfied customers.
And if you're listening to this episode, man, we want to say happy holidays to y'all, man. Mm-hmm. We hope your year has been going well. We hope everything. I know 2017 been kind of fucked up for me,
man.
But I hope you around with your family, listen to Drinking Partners at the Christmas tree right now.
Yeah, man. 2017. It's always nice, this time of year to, just look back. And everything, and sit around folks and catch up and whatnot. And we appreciate you guys listening.
I don't want to look back on this shit.
Part of it you can't.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a part that I don't remember, but everything after that has been up and I'm waiting for them to do the trending topic on Twitter where they say describe your year with an album title, because I got one for it. I'm calling it Wins and Losses by Meek Mill, because like that's what my year has been. It's been wins and losses. I done had ups and downs, but you know what? That's life, man. So
yeah.
Happy New Year to everybody. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Hope you ain't, blow your whole savings account on your kids because they don't remember this shit anymore.
Hope you got a realistic dick for
That's
for
weird.
Christmas.
I didn't know you had to circle back to that.
I mean, apparently there was a lot of craftsmanship that goes into that. So if somebody got you that for Christmas, they love you.
Yeah, well, if somebody bought you a whole dude.
Yeah, a whole ass dude.
A whole ass robot.
Handcrafted dude.
Like a I wonder, like, they could probably make them. Are they made to order? Yo, if you listening and you in the sex robot industry, like, let me know if these made to order. How does that shit work? Like, do you go on and select a body type? Like, it's got the Rick Ross model. You got like, what do you
got? Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, like, you get tattoos. You know what I mean? You got chest hair. Like, what is happening with this shit? Like, that's so crazy, man. But yo, if you're listening to, you got a limited time to get those tickets to first night, man. Like,
night
yeah. You gotta get your tickets now because this shit about to happen.
Yeah, get your button, select your shows. We'll be down at the Byham Theater. We got Wally Barham coming in from New York, super talented young lady, and we've got one of the best in Pittsburgh. He's taking some time out from his spots around the country to come in and open up the new year. John Evans headlining. Yeah, man. And 3 shows, man. Check them out online, the times and whatnot. And the last show ends around 11 o'clock. So that's enough time to come in, get your laugh on. You could do it early, you could do it late, and still be out to see the ball drop. So, check that out. First night, Highmark First Night, and that's firstnightpittsburgh.com.
Yeah, man. And listen, it was a great time last year. It'll be even better this year. We're trying to grow the culture out here. We're trying to keep our hands in everything. So make sure you get your buttons to First Night. Shout out to Meebles. He got the buttons for the low. Meet him at the Sunoco on the north side. Meebles. Shout out. Tell him Drinking Partners sent you. And hey, if you're trying to start a podcast, if you want, anything shouted out on an award-winning podcast, if you need help with promoting an event or anything like that, man, shout out Epicast.
Truth, man. epicastnetwork.com/services, man. Tell them the Drinking Partners sent you. They do great work around the city. Yes. If you've ever seen any of the media, if you're listening to the podcast, anything that we're doing, Epicast is, right next to us, making it look better than what it really is.
They're keeping us sounding good, looking good. You know what I mean? Keeping our beards looking full. They gave their hairline one time. Like, they do good work, man.
Whatever you need, they got it.
Yeah,
So, holla at them.
Speaking of family, it's a family affair episode, man. Like, this has been a long time coming. very excited about this because now I get to
excited.
Yeah, well, normally I come home late for a show and I get interviewed about my night, but now I got wifey on the hot seat. We have the creator and sole contributor of Cocopreneur here in the building, Khamil Scantling. Shout out say what up to the people.
What up, people?
No.
Hell no. We know you.
You will not be bashful this episode. We go rewind it back. I said we got Khamil Scantling in the building. Say what up to the people.
What's good? What's popping?
All right, bring it.
That sounds a little bit.
Well, I guess you in your professional bag now. You know?
I'm trying, y'all.
I don't know why.
Trying to pull
we
me out.
we just gave you a jalapeno beer upon entry. Like, there's no reason to be formal.
Knew it was gonna be hot.
You knew you were 150 episodes in because I left the house to record all of them motherfuckers. Like, you already know what time it is. But no, we're very happy to have you in here. Have you on the couch. We got a lot of questions for you. Like, who? No, I'm just. But for the people who don't know, tell them about Cocopreneur. Like,
Cocopreneur, and I hate that I just did that because I hate mouth sounds.
I guess when you listen to enough podcasts, I mean, I don't listen to the podcasts.
Goodness.
So like you listen to them, so you hear all of that. Am I mouthy dude? Do I be like eating the mic and shit?
Oh my god! Sometimes it depends on what you. If you're tasting a beer, it gets to be a little.
I'll get in there. I'll taste the beer. I'll get in that shit.
Yeah, I gotta walk away for a little bit, but Cocopreneur started pretty much. I'm a transplant of Pittsburgh, so I'm from Jersey, and I came here for Pitt. Left for a little bit, came back, and once I realized I would be living here, I started to kind of notice that there were not very many Black businesses that I could readily identify. So I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go to so-and-so. And I guess at the time, because this started 2 years ago, probably around the same time as this year, it was a climate where it was a lot more visible that police were killing young Black people in the street. And I was kind of boycotting America in general.
It's
you know, I was just pushing back, and what I was going to do was just stop giving my money to a society that put so much value on money. So I said that I was going to keep the money in the Black community where I felt comfortable and felt safe and trusted people with my money. So once I realized I couldn't find things readily, I decided that, I would start looking. And as I found things, I would share things. So it kind of just turned into a sharing thing. As I found businesses, I decided to share them with other people. And it's funny because before I even started Cocopreneur, what happened, I had a conversation with my good friend Nazora, who passed away earlier this year. And we were talking about organizing around, just making more community events and things like that. And what popped into my head is following like Black Lives Matter, doing this Black Dollars Matter campaign. And what I kind of suggested was that we find a way to like stamp money that would be designated for spending in the Black community. And it would be a visual reminder to people of, Black people contributing to Black communities. So if you ever went to a Black-owned business or any business and you got $1 back that had this stamp on it, it would be like, oh, okay, this was a product of a Black person contributing and buying from a Black business. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where it all started, was this idea of keeping the Black dollar within the community.
So what are some of the hurdles to that? I mean, one, there's not a lot of Black business, especially in Pittsburgh, or it's harder to find or whatnot. What are some of the hurdles to, like developing businesses in Pittsburgh as a Black community? I mean, like why because I like the outsider perspective on this. You know what I mean? Like, because growing up in it, like I'm a native of Pittsburgh, you know, and like I have my theories and whatnot, but like from the outside, like looking in or whatever, what do you believe are some of the issues, you know, with, you know, black development in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is really behind on most things. Music, fashion, maybe not so much with art. They tend to be pretty okay when it comes to art, but in most avenues, Pittsburgh is really behind.
Yeah.
And it could be just because it's a city in the middle of nowhere, but it is behind.
Because we have the Pittsburgh Cleveland rivalry or whatever, but like Cleveland still is around a lot of shit. I mean, like Buffalo's over there, Columbus is right there. Like, I mean, you got Chicago.
Two bad examples, but Cleveland's killing it.
But like, there's other like developed cities or whatever, and like there's even like black culture, you know, sparsely in there. Like Cleveland has a great black community.
You know what I think it is with Cleveland? I think that, like when we talk about the early 1900s and when people were fleeing the South and coming up north, I think a lot of people did go to Cleveland. I think a lot of people came from the West Coast and came to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. I think Pittsburgh had a different story. So they didn't have all these people kind of coming in and creating this I don't want to say it's not a healthy culture here, but it's not. Like it's kind of empty in a lot of spaces. Yeah. Pittsburgh does a lot better now. Let me say that for everybody who's listening.
Yeah, now
they do a lot better now. They're catching up
to the constituency now.
They're catching up, but the issue I think is the mentality of Pittsburghers. Like I just think that Pittsburgh and Black Pittsburgh in particular was just a little bit behind. I know there are historic neighborhoods in Pittsburgh that did thrive, but you know, it was so easily lost, and there was never a resurgence of any community in this town. Like even now, there are little maybe blocks or pockets, but there's no neighborhood. Like there's no neighborhood where you can go and aspire to live. No black business district, not a successful one anyway. There's not a neighborhood where you can go and kids are playing safely up and down the street, and there are working professionals who live there and own the homes that they live in. Like there's not a lot of that in Pittsburgh, so it's a whole, it's missing.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you you know, I'm listening, I'm like, I'm thinking you're saying Cleveland's better than Pittsburgh. I'm just because we got that. Like,
I mean, that's fine. But
no, I don't know if I'm reading that wrong. It's just because like
y'all gotta go.
My mother's house.
Y'all gotta like.
I don't care.
You know,
like
so
I
go to the same place.
I
so.
have no attachment to either city. So y'all, whatever.
What your kids do?
Not even them. They ain't old enough to have one.
All right, so this interview's over. Like this, it's not going. It's not going the way I expected.
Clevelanders.
You feel me? Like
they got burning river in they blood.
That's I don't
whatever.
know if that's better or worse than Meebles. I don't know how I feel.
My kids also have East Coast in their blood. So
very true. And you come from a family of entrepreneurs.
I come from, I guess my background lends itself to what I do too. Like I grew up in East Orange, New Jersey. And when I grew up in East Orange, I took this for granted at the time, but everything around me was black. Like our mayor was black. My principals were black. My teachers were black. The people who own businesses, a good amount of them were black. Like I took all that stuff for granted. They even renamed the schools in my city after, black people. So it used to be the regular presidents. Lincoln, Washington, yada, yada, yada. They started naming our school stuff like the Dionne Warwick Institute of Economics and Entrepreneurship.
Wow.
Or the Quincy. School. My elementary school.
Wow, when you start getting the Dionne Warwick. Yeah, yo. Once Dionne Warwick started getting her own schools, you know it's
I mean,
black.
she was also from Newark. So we had the Whitney Houston Academy.
That's
we had Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, but
you know, whatever.
But as a kid, though, just, like, see, that's crazy because as a kid growing up and having like going to black schools, I've never gone to a black only black shit that we had was MLK Boulevard, MLK
Nope,
Way.
That was always the worst street in town.
Okay,
that was it.
Always fucked up.
No, it was super lit. And then my high school, it was called Vernon L. Davey originally. Same middle school my mother went to. I don't even know who Vernon L. Davey is. But it was renamed to Cicely Tyson School of Performing and Fine Arts. And she actually came to the school all the time.
Shit,
like,
if I had my motherfucking building name, that's me. I'd be in that
she
bitch.
came all the time. She brought people to the school. Like every year, there was like a notable person speaking at our graduation. Like this is like my high school graduation. Ruby D. Davis came and spoke at my graduation, and it changed my life forever. Like she spoke about Willie Lynch, and it's the first time that I heard about Willie Lynch at my high school graduation, because the woman who my school is named after is a black woman who cares about black people, and it just affected black kids. Like it changed my life hearing her talk about Willie Lynch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to that, and I'm a little jealous because, like, now I grew up in East Cleveland, and you know, obviously in that area, you know, the school wasn't necessarily named after an African American, but you know, there were African American businesses, African American teachers, African American superintendents, but like we didn't like them motherfuckers. Like, and our mayor was crooked as hell. Like it's crazy. Like I'm wondering, you know, if Pittsburgh will get to that point, because I've talked about this on the podcast, and we've talked about this at home, where, you know, in Cleveland, when I visit Cleveland, my mother lives in Cleveland Heights, and in Cleveland Heights, they're the homeowners. You know, you'll go outside, you'll see an entire black family. You see a father with his children, they're walking the dog. You know, they got all the, you know, you go to Shaw High School. It's like when I went, shit, it was only one white person every year. It's a white girl. She always got pregnant and just didn't finish the school year. But it was a different white girl every year. Like it's crazy, but like it's entirely black, and you do take that for granted. But then when I got to Pittsburgh, I thought Penn Hills kind of mirrored that. And then I found out, nah.
Nah. Like Penn Hills is vast. There are, you know, like there are middle class black people in Penn Hills, but it doesn't like mirror like that community, that full community, like, because that school district is pretty mixed. Yeah, I mean,
I want a PG County type of thing in Pittsburgh. If I'm gonna be here, I want to see. And the thing is, like, people always talk about like a black middle class, and that's great. That's probably where I would want to live. But even neighborhoods that are maybe not as, I guess, economically successful, I still want it to be a place where it's theirs. Like everything around is theirs. You know what I mean? Like, even if we're talking about East Liberty didn't look the best 10 years ago, but it was East Liberty.
Man, East Liberty used to fucking pop, man. You can get all
for no reason. We make the best situations out of nothing.
All the
like, and that's
knockoff
okay.
DGs and shit, like all the cars, all that business. But that's the thing, like all that businesses, those, like, you know what I mean? Like outside, like you used to walk down the street and there would be, and this is like, I mean, me growing up, and you would have all of these businesses on the streets outside of other businesses. You know what I mean? And like East Liberty, you know, back in the day, you know, like there was a point in Pittsburgh history where like we did have that black middle class, and then it was an exodus, and they you know what I mean, they hopped ship just like everybody else. You know what I mean?
And you know, I'm not gonna get too deep into this because everything goes back to slavery. But you gotta think about redlining when you talk about that. Like the exodus is not voluntary. Like it's not like people just choose like, all right, we're all just gonna go. There's something that's coming in and pushing everybody out. Like that's just what happens. And from my understanding, like this is newfound information that I have, but redlining has always been structured, you know, in a circular motion, right? Like you have everybody's moving in a circle, and it all comes back around. Like it all, you know, there will be places that will be inhabited twice by the poor, and places that will be gentrified and redone, and they'll move out eventually too. But redlining is specifically designed to move in this circular motion, right?
Well, yeah, because you have at one point, you know, people move to the suburbs. The more affluent class would move to the suburbs, but then now they want to move closer into the city. So the people within the city, in those neighborhoods, within those programs that are looked to be, they're very attractive, but you don't see the underlying implication of the program. But now they're moving them out, because like in searching for a house now, it's like Penn Hills has the affordable houses now, and they have the houses that you can buy. You can get something move-in ready. Sound
like a trap.
But it is a trap because the values are going down, and the people who were living in Penn Hills are now moving closer into the city. It's all cyclical, I guess. Like,
yeah, I mean, like redlining, is a major issue. I mean, and gentrification in general. I mean, like when you're talking about like, you know, denying folks, you know, their ability to, you know, to buy a home just because some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, and that happened, you know, back, you know, in the 70s or whatever. And they even used that, like, you know, when you talk about colorism, you know what I mean, and giving certain folks, you know what I mean, houses or raises or whatever, you know what I mean, like, you know, splitting up that, you know what I mean, that labor force, splitting up, you know, folks based on another line, you know, but Pittsburgh not only suffered from that, but like, you know, when there was a hill, when there were strong black communities that were on par with other cities, then the steel mills shut down, the city shut down, and then everybody that was young was out. It just, if you were doing something, that you had to leave the city. There weren't a lot of people, you know what I mean? And that happened for like 40, 50 years in Pittsburgh before we turned that around. So the black community, you know, of course, and, you know, just like in any situation, like in America, is the first that's going to be impacted by that and the hardest impacted by it. So now that we're coming back in and all these jobs are coming back in, it's going to be the white folks are coming in. You know, I mean, and it's very, you know, it's very cushy for them coming in. You know what I mean? The environment that they're coming in. But like when you're talking about like black transplants, they're coming into a fairly hostile situation.
Oh,
because they
and it's funny that you say that because we not sitting around for that. You push, I'm gonna push back. Like I'm not sitting around and just I'm not letting you run amok. Period. Point blank. I'm gonna call you out. And social media has made things a whole lot easier. A whole lot easier to get your point out there and let people see what's going on and put it on the front page. Like I had conversations about people, especially when we're talking about housing, and they're talking about like creating like black communities and whatever else. And I'm like, well, let's go out, you know, so many miles out where we're just all alone. I said, don't y'all know if they come and decide to bomb this shit, nobody gonna know.
They've done that before.
They gonna fuck y'all up, and ain't nobody gonna know because you sitting out in the middle. You need to be in the city. You need to be visible.
Yeah.
Like you need people to know what's going on and be able to see and find you at all times. Like social media has made it a lot easier for things to not really fly under the radar. So that's been helpful too. And I think people who came from places where they've seen like black success, just black comfort, come to Pittsburgh and they're just like, this ain't right. Like, y'all just let them do that like that. So I think it's healthy to have transplants come to the city and influence people, because it's not that people don't want to or aren't able to. It's just sometimes you don't see the possibility of things, and when people present it to you, then you're like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, if you've grown up in this, and like you've grown up in this environment, this is all you know. Right. And if you're, I mean, again, if you're disenfranchised, you're not traveling, and that's just, you know, I mean, that's just poor people in general. I mean, everybody has pockets, white, black, Asian, whatever. There's people that just are in their bubble. They're cool going to work, going back to bed, and like doing that for fucking 50 years and dying. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and then there's folks that are just like, you know, that's not really their choice. But like they've been pushed into the situation, so they don't know. They just think it's normal. And that's everybody. Right. I mean, and you're seeing like with this wave of, you know, like was the Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein or whatever, and like, yeah, I mean, all the allegations and all the, I mean, the rape culture or whatever, it's being exposed. Yeah, I mean, like because, you know, like it was a thing that people just accepted as is because they didn't know any better. And like you said, with the social media and the ability to come out, it's more visible now, and people are coming out. And like you said, I mean, with the transplants, like if the people from here is like, they don't know. Like I said, I left, I traveled, I came back, and I was like, yo, this is not, this is not how it's supposed to be. I mean,
the
like,
transplants definitely have a healthy naivete.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they come in and like, all right, I'm trying to do this, and they run into, you know, the roadblocks, and now they try to work through them because they only know one way of life. Now, with your works, you know, you've worked with a lot of people. How have people responded to the Cocopreneur model? Like, what's the response been?
I mean, it's free, so people love it. No, for real. Like, you know, you do have like different people who do some type of similar marketing, but they want you to pay for it. Mine is, it really is, I've realized, a community service more than anything else. Because I thought about it, like doing some type of merch and yada, yada, yada. That's not even I'm not concerned with it. My real concern is sharing the information and just bringing people together to do things as a community. I just feel like we'll be better off if we stick together. So people are super receptive, and it's funny. I tried not to put my face on like
I've noticed that
Instagram and stuff. I try to separate the two.
It was a while before, like I actually followed you before I knew you was you. Like, I was like,
what happened with that? So the first time that I put my face on Cocopreneur, like, hey y'all, this is me.
Yeah.
I got like 20 people who accepted the invitation to like the page. Like they were like, oh, all right, well, because people be trolling.
Yeah.
So they don't know. But it's like I went and got my hair done last night, and I don't come up front and be like, hey, I'm Cocopreneur. I want to get this thing from you.
Yeah.
I wanted my hair done. So I went to the girl and I sat down with her, and as we're sitting there, I said, did you know that I run Cocopreneur? Because we were talking about something. And she just had this whole follow, like, oh my God, you're the reason I entered this braid contest thing. Da, 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 da. And it's touching. You know what I mean? Like, it is touching. And then I run into other people and I introduce myself. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice to see you. I love what you do. Flower House, like Naomi.
You're doing something good for the community.
Right.
And like, it is. Because like I said, like I'd followed. It wasn't too long. But I had followed you for a little bit, and I saw, and I was like, oh, because it was novel in a sense for like, the way you were doing it, utilizing the social media and whatnot, and the various businesses and like the tenacity and the consistency in which you did. It wasn't just like every once in a while get an email here and there or whatever. It's like there's different shit popping off.
I'm
like
sitting at work,
I had no, and then it'd be like I said, you've become like my like go-to now. Like if I'm like, if there's some shit that I'm trying to get into or whatever, I'm gonna try to frequent.
That's my favorite thing
first.
to do. I love when people hit me up and be like, I'm looking for such and such. Do you know whatever? And I can just start spitting stuff off. Like I've done it for caterers, and like I had a friend hit me up like, I'm looking to do so and so for my husband, and I want to get this personal chef. And I'm like, okay, here's so-and-so. And then I ran to her in the grocery store like, oh my God, he was so good. I'm so glad. That stuff is like fulfilling for me.
You're
like,
the plug.
I love being the plug. I love being the plug. So that it just gives me, like I could say it's selfless. It's not selfless in the sense that it allows me to contribute to like a healthy business, like Black business community in Pittsburgh. And then, people do appreciate it. Like that always feels good when people appreciate the things that you do. So,
and you're also, and people don't understand, because when I say there's no such thing as altruism, and I try to like change minds with folks or whatever, I try to make it like, how is this benefiting you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, why should you care about poor people or Black people or this, that, and the other? And like, the world is a better place now. You have people that are no longer disenfranchised or that have the means of making money, and now they're not criminals. Now they're not breaking into your fucking car. Now they're not dying and causing your company like money because they can't pay for their cancer bills. Mm-hmm. Now, like, there's so many different. Jails, hospital bills. Like, there's so many things that like having a poor society, it drains on all of society except for the very elite. That 1% is going to keep making
so
that 1%.
It pits everybody against each other except for the elite.
Yeah. The elite have figured out a way to prey on the poor.
Yeah. They prey on everybody. The elite has 50%.
I'm speaking specifically to their relationship to the poor. I mean, they prey on the fact that shit exists and you got to find it through us. Like, that's how they prey. But, like, they prey on the poor. I was actually talking to a guy I was working in Improv this weekend, and then he was talking about all the shit he does and all of the roles that he plays at his job at the Improv, and I had to tell him, like, you gotta chill, bro. Like, they're not compensating you for that. Like, you're doing like, and I had to learn that the hard way. Like, you do all this extra shit, and they take advantage of the poor mindset where it's like, the harder I work, the more I do. The better I'll be off, or I'll get compensated, and they won't. Like, it's like, yo, thank you, we love you, bro.
Yeah. Right. When you talking large, the larger the business,
$50.
The larger the business, the less they're gonna appreciate what you do. Aside from the fact that it's not costing them money.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what? Obviously, I've seen the response that you've received. I've seen everything that you've done. I've seen the growth and everything that you're doing, but I've also seen like where sometimes it can be frustrating what you're doing. So what are some of the roadblocks that you run into, or some of the issues with? Because again, you don't, it's a service that you do provide. But for example, I know, it comes to a point where it's like, all right, I gotta vet the businesses that I am going to shout out.
Yes.
Like I can't just be shouting out everybody because they just black.
I was trying to figure out where you were coming from with that, but now I know.
Everybody has that story about like, I went to this black business and they weren't.
Wait, Don't start. I'm gonna keep it clean.
Specific.
I know. That's why I'm gonna clean it up before Dave goes into his bag. Now, you have to understand the history of these things, right? So, black people in America, we were slaves for how long in this country? 250, 300 years, some wild shit like that.
My mom.
I don't feel like doing math, and I'm not gonna do it.
My aunts and uncles went to a segregated school. I'm the first generation.
We've been for real free,
yeah.
And when I say free, I mean you can go to the schools that you kind of want to go to if you can afford them or whatever the case may be.
Water fountains and shit, yeah.
60 years.
Yeah.
Out of being here in this country for 400 years, give niggas a chance.
Yeah.
Like, people have just gotten to the place where they can actually figure these things out. There are some families, non-black families, who have been business owners.
That was the blackest moment on this podcast. Y'all ain't even seeing what just happened. A police siren went off, and we damn near canceled the rest of the show. All three of us
was
like, what the fuck?
He gave the look and was like,
you got weed to go?
You talking about some sensitive stuff here. You never know. They listening. We've only been kind of free to do things for so long. There are families in this country, non-black families, who have been 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th generation business owners. So, people know to put certain things in their kids' names so that when they hit a certain age, they'll have these entities in their names. They know about separating, limited liability from anything else. Like they just know these things, and black people don't know it. There are people who know and understand the concept of customer service. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of businesses, there are a lot of black-owned businesses who still have the mentality of, a closed-minded, deprived, disenfranchised person, right? So you're going to treat black people like shit because everybody else treats black people like shit, and you going, soft shoe for other people. That's just a matter of conditioning. So it's you have to give black people a chance. My thing, like when I run into a business where I feel like the service might not be the best, and it's normally service. It's hardly ever quality. Hardly ever. It's normally a service thing, making me feel valued as a customer. I have to tell people up front. Like I called the place once and I wanted to order something, and the person who picked up the phone was really off-putting. And she said that I had to talk to the person who actually owned the business about ordering what I wanted to order. So when I spoke to the owner, I said, listen, the person who answers your phone isn't really off-putting. I don't want to get her in trouble. I just hope that you have a conversation with her, because when I spoke to her, I almost wanted to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
So what I do personally when I speak to businesses where I feel like, I'm not appreciated as a customer, I talk to people directly, and I give constructive criticism all the time. Like there are very few, I give so much rope when it comes to black businesses because I understand that they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
That's tough because, like you said, folks, we even in the brew industry or whatever, like there was a discussion in an article about like, first year, second year breweries, restaurant, and then you see it in a lot of businesses, those growing pains in an establishment. The thing that is different in a black establishment versus, like your typical white establishment is that they don't have as much capital to keep them afloat through all those growing pains. So that customer service, the feedback that you gave, and like the things that like you get that in businesses, in a lot of businesses, but they have just enough, and they have enough business, like volume wise, as well as capital on the back end to keep them afloat through that if it's going to be a successful business. Whereas, like you said, with a black business, they don't have that same capital, and they don't have the, like you said, it's the that learning. And like, these are folks that are trying to learn, like you said, second, third, fourth generation of entrepreneurship, whether it's, you know, your dad owned you know, this type of law firm, but now you own, you know, like a printing factory.
Yeah,
or some
anything.
shit. Like, yeah, I mean,
it translates
still,
across.
Yeah, it's still those, you know, I mean, that entrepreneurial, like, you mean, that know-how, you know, I mean, the principles and, you mean, and whatnot. So, you know, yeah, you are coming from, it's a double one, you know what I mean? It's low capital to keep you afloat through the, yeah, I mean, the folks that might like leave you because of a bad product or a bad, you know, whatever in the beginning. And two, not even knowing that here are some of the jewels to put forward first, because if you do have good customer service, but the product is a little bad, sometimes people will still come back.
Still come because you appreciate
you
my
appreciate
money.
the customer
That's
service, you appreciate the money or whatever. And that's the thing that, like, you know, sometimes, like you said, I mean, with the black community, we're like, it's quality. Like, you gonna get this shit.
It's quality.
Like, I might not talk to you all nice and shit like that. I mean, my mom used to always tell me, I ain't gotta like you to love you. You know what I mean?
I'm trying not to. I'm not gonna say a name.
Stop saying this shit to your kids.
I got another. I have another
like,
example that's very similar to that, and this was a situation that involved my mother, so I got real sensitive about it. But I gave somebody. Like, I told my mom, you know, she should get this thing. And she decided to get this thing, and she was a good customer. My mother owns a business, so she understands difficult customers and, you know, what it's like to be a good customer. So she paid the fees up front. You know, she gave all specifics for what she wanted, right? And this person went like ghost. So she's like, you know, I ain't hear from so-and-so. I'm like, okay, well, let me reach out and see whatever. So I reach out. I gave 24 hours because I know you on social media. I see you. And, you know, I didn't get a response. So I put up a post and I made sure not to bash. You know what I mean? I wasn't super negative about it. I wasn't, you know, coming down. I just shared the experience that I had and said, be leery. So, of course, I get a response. And we had a conversation. And the conversation was, again, a constructive one. My mother spoke to him first, told him, you know, as a business owner, you know, you have to communicate things with people. If you taking somebody's money, you're going to have to let them know what's up. And then I spoke to him after the fact and told him, you know, you got to make sure if you're doing this that, you know, you're under promising and over delivering. Don't tell me you can do something in a certain amount of time and you got all this stuff backed up. You clearly can't.
Yeah.
Still did some wild stuff after that. He still did some crazy stuff. And then it was so hard to not deal with him because the finished product was so dope. Like, it's just hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Quality is generally there. It's just the service aspect and the business principles that come with owning a business. If you can't do something yourself, you need to delegate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's not even just in the black community, even in entrepreneurial in general. I mean, like I said, I think the black community is more heavily affected because of where we're coming from and where we're trying to go. I mean, but like you see those same struggles throughout all of entrepreneurship. I mean, like, you know, there's...
That ain't my concern.
Yeah, I mean, they have... yeah, I mean, but like...
That ain't what I'm focused on.
Yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is that, like, you have these growing pains where, you know, like, you have a great fucking product, but, like, the customer service is off. But, like, I mean, because I've been to restaurants where I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to eat here, you know what I mean? Like, and the food is dope as fuck, but fuck this fucking server, like, the whole nine or whatever, but you keep going back. The thing about the black community, though, is that, like, I hear these stories about, like, oh, well, I had a bad experience in the black community or whatever. I do know black businesses. So now I'm not frequenting any of the black businesses. And I'm like, but you've had bad experience in white businesses.
Everywhere. You have them
still go to white, like, I don't understand.
You still go to Target. You still go to Walmart.
Like, so, like,
you still
why,
go to...
like, why is that, why is that thing, like, oh, well, you know, I had it, and that's because black
I
businesses
really
like,
think that we hold each other to a higher standard, and that's okay.
Well, yeah,
it's okay to do
I think
that.
on both ends, we both looking at each other like, but I'm black though. You feel me? Like, I'm the consumer.
Right.
I'm frequenting your shit. I'm like, yo, you supposed to treat me. I'm black. You supposed to hold me down.
Yeah.
You looking at me like, yeah, shit was kind of messed up, but I'm black, so hold me down.
Right.
And it's just like we don't meet in the middle. Like,
I don't think that you should like you should just like, I mean, wool over your eyes, just like frequent everybody that's just, I mean, a black business, because what I mean, we do have to hold people to standards. I think that I can hold somebody to a standard, like you said. speak and say, here are my grievances. I mean, these are the things that I don't like, but not completely, one, abandon them. Maybe give them another try. Maybe it was, a miscommunication of some sort.
Right, don't just fly off the handle off top.
Exactly. Right. I mean, like have a conversation or whatever. Maybe give them another chance. And two, not abandon all fucking black businesses just because I had that fucking bad experience. It's wild as shit.
And you know what's great? Like I get that. I get that you may have had bad service. These people are really small businesses, super small businesses, and they're regular people. Like, they're people.
Yeah.
They are, the owners are working, not 9 to 5, you know what I mean? Not a 4-hour, 6-hour shift. They working sun up to sundown, open to close, you know what I mean? Like, these people have a lot of struggles, and sometimes they do fall short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that it would be nice if people would take that into consideration. I understand why you wouldn't. It's your money. It's your choice. But you need to understand that if you live here and you work here or your family's here, you might want to contribute to the neighborhood. You know what I mean? You might want to keep the things that are here by supporting them completely. You know what I mean? Like, stop asking for discounts for things. Like, give people their full pay.
Discounts. Can we just stop right there for a second? Stop asking for hookups. We don't know each. We didn't go to high school together. We didn't grow up. Why I gotta hook you up, fam?
When I throw out a discount code, you better jump on it.
Facts.
Because that's when it is. That's when I'm giving discounts. That's
Stop
it.
asking me for free tickets to the show.
Right.
Stop asking me for backdoor entry.
Stop
trying to get into the
artists.
improv on my name,
Support
fam.
artists,
I cannot get
especially.
you into the improv. I don't work at the improv. I don't own the motherfucking improv. I cannot just walk you into the improv like, yo, this is my man's. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just paying. Like, yo, people really be acting like, you got me, right? Like, no, the only reason I'm getting in free is because I gotta go to work. Like,
Ed's been holding on. He just sitting on this. Like,
damn, do you, bro?
I ain't know it was like that.
Well, and listen,
motherfuckers just be showing like, hey, yo, my nigga Ed got me.
Yo, with certain people in the tuck that I'm cool with that. Like this weekend, my man's, I'm working hard to get him in. That's my guy. Yeah. You feel me? Like that's my dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's also reciprocal.
That's my guy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the. Yeah,
I know if I need him to hold me down, he gonna hold me down.
Yeah.
But if I've been posting flyers for 5 years, man, some of these flyers got my name on it. You gonna tell me the first time I just send a tweet like I'm opening for so and so? Now you all in my DM talking about, yo, hold me down. Like, can I get a bottle of Moet? Like,
it's great. People have no shame. People really have no shame about that too.
Look, shoot your shot, but just know I'm clapping back. Like, fuck out of here.
I actually overcompensate for that all the time. Like, people be like, oh, I'll give you something. I'm going to pay you your price. This is your price. I'm going to pay the price. Don't give me something because of me doing whatever. Like, I if this is your price, stick to your price. Like, I'm telling people that.
Ask for hookups.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna just buy your product.
I'm not supporting you at that.
Because because we all. I mean, I guess it's because again, it's the mentality, and that's the problem. Like you said, people don't understand what it is to be an entrepreneur and the thin margins that you have coming up. So a discount is my whole fucking profit.
Stick to your numbers.
You know what I mean? Like I don't have any. If I'm giving everybody, and I kind of gotta pull on the community resources in order for me to make a business. You know what I mean? So like, anytime you're getting into it, it's going to be friends and family that are frequenting you. Yeah. And if I'm giving all of this shit out for free, then
my margins are cut. Like, margins are cut.
I can't exist anymore.
I can't just be giving you the price that I got the product for. I ain't making no money. You
so like, if you be like, oh, give me the love shot. Like, you got to get. I'm asking for the love shot here. I'm actually giving you a product. Yeah. The love shot is you actually paying for it, so I can continue.
Love me.
Yeah. So I continue to make it. You know what I mean? Like, and.
So let me ask you this. How difficult in your position, because I've seen you grow into, like, you're an entity. Like, people come to you, they ask for opinions and things like that. You're well respected. How hard is it to straddle the line between the business advocate and the consumer advocate? Because, like, again, you got people asking for love shots. You got people like, pay me for pride. You know what I mean? It's like, well, yeah, but you got your service got to be on point. But no, they got to understand this, that, and the third. Like you
mean like what I post?
not even just in general, like, because a lot of what you do isn't done on the internet. Like, a lot of it is community outreach from a personal perspective. Like, people will personally come up to you and ask for recommendations, or they'll personally speak to you because you're a walking advocate. You know what I mean? So, like, but again,
probably gonna hit you up for some shit after the show.
Yeah, they might be asking you for tickets to my show. Like, who knows? Who knows? Yo, you sleep with that dude, right? Like, you got tickets under the.
I'm gonna post a list of principles about being a good consumer too, but I don't know if it conflicts. Like, I think it's one and the same. Like, for me, being a good consumer to a black business is pretty much pushing to people to pay them full price for things. Same way I would pay full price. If they're offering, that's fine. Don't put people in a predicament. Like, don't put them in a weird space where they feel awkward telling you, no, I can't do this for you.
That's a big thing. Don't make my no.
I actually don't know what you're asking me.
So what is?
No, like, okay. So now I gotta break it down, because now that's okay. These moments we're expected to happen. You can crack as much as you want.
I don't have a bottle opener is what I'm saying.
You have to answer the question first, because
ahead.
now you in my space. You understand? You in my space. If you want to make the top 8, no, don't handle that, Bill. Let me get the question up. No, what I'm saying is, you get people. So in your situation, right? That particular business owner, they validate their actions. He or she, they will validate their actions, right? Now, obviously, you're on your mother's side, but let's just say your mother's just someone, a consumer.
Right.
The consumer has concerns.
Right.
Now, you understand the limitations of the business, because you just spoke on, hey, these small businesses are not like the chains that you go. You're going with the, okay. So.
I'm going with if you are a business owner, you have responsibilities too. Like, everything is not an excuse. Okay. You can't make an excuse for everything. You shouldn't make an excuse for anything.
No, I mean, there's a complete difference between excuses and like reasons.
I got excuses.
Yeah, I mean, like there's excuses.
The thing that we're talking about, I got straight excuses.
Yeah.
And for me, I have no tolerance for it. You decided to start a business and call yourself.
You said something.
A business owner. You decided to say that you had this thing up for sale and you had it ready.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
Yeah, you said something and you did not deliver on that something. That's a legitimate concern.
For me, some things are not knowing necessarily the business world. Some things are character issues. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, some things is just a matter of you not really being responsible.
Yeah.
I'm generally going to go with the customer unless the customer is out of pocket. Or maybe I'll go with the person who's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes the customer is right. Sometimes they are not. The customer is not always right. I don't care what nobody says.
The customer is not always right. But like,
the customer be wilding sometimes.
Yeah. I've worked in customer service, customer service in general in a way different shit, but like actual, like, because I think, to be honest, like we were talking about customer service, and even in your entrepreneurial endeavors and like just things in life, customer service is a skill that you use in a great many facets of everything that you do. But when I say I worked in customer service, like, I mean like on a phone that you call and be like, yo, I got a fucking problem, right? And you know what? Like, I like in that industry or whatever, I've seen it. I'm like, you're right. The customer typically has a legit concern. Mm-hmm. Somehow the company fucked up. Me as a customer service dude, I ain't even got the power to make that shit happen the way you want it to happen, how it should have happened. So I got to be like beat up on or whatever. Yeah. But typically the customer usually doesn't call unless you really fucked up. Like, because consumers will take a lot of shit. Yeah, I mean, before they call back.
If they really like the product.
Sometimes the bigger asshole you are, the less shit you take. Okay, so I was a shitty customer last week. So,
well, why would you say that?
Because I go to this coffee place all the time.
Yeah.
And I went to the one that's near my mom's house, and they were messing up my order twice in a row. They messed up my order. My mother was like, they messed up my order the last time I went there too. So I called, like, What's
Is this
wrong
Duncan?
with-
Because Duncan be fucking
Yes, I was
up.
trying not to say that. I
Yeah,
didn't know if I
nah,
was supposed to do
Duncan
that
be
or not.
fucking up. Duncan be fucking up. No, I be at the improv, and the people who work at the improv be telling me how Duncan be fucking up.
The one on Brownsville or whatever that is,
Yeah,
they always fucking up. I asked for a cinnamon raisin bagel toasted with butter and jelly. I get a plain bagel. I go another time, they give me cream cheese. Like, what the fuck y'all doing? No, this is the one in Easton. I went
Dunkin'
to this
Donuts
place.
motto was to fuck your order.
Maybe. So I went to this one place and they messed up the order 3 times. And I picked up the phone, I call, and I'm like, listen, this is the 3rd time that this has happened. I don't understand. There's something wrong with the machine. And again, I'm not rude about it, but I'm really short and I'm kind of frank about it because I'm at my mom's house. I'm working from home. Like, I don't want to get up and have to drive back down the street, take this coffee back. So, she's like, I don't know, like, this is what the receipt says. So I checked the receipt that I have. I said, my receipt says that too, but I know what I ordered from this app.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I was wrong. There are presets on the app. I hit the wrong preset, ordered the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
But I apologized.
Yeah. Well, see, you are not the typical customer.
No.
The typical customer would have just been
I'm
like,
not.
they would probably would have never figured it out. And if they did, they wouldn't
And
have
she was
admitted
like,
it.
I'll comp your coffee. And I was like, I fucked that up.
That is not a
My
typical
bad.
customer. But
You ain't take the comp? You got kids
I sent it to
feed.
my
You
mother.
got fucking kids to feed.
I was not going to be there.
Yeah,
I sent
take
the
the
comp
comp.
to my mother. Like, they know my mother. When she pull up, they be like, we got
Oh,
you.
you ain't want
Yeah.
to.
There's a
Like-
relationship
Oh,
there.
you
Yeah, I
ain't want-
can't be.
You ain't
Yeah,
fuck
you
up
got-
my Duke
yeah.
situation.
No.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
for the greater good, I understand.
The thing about customer service is that, like, I mean, well, in that situation, most customers will just, if it's a shitty experience, they just won't even say anything. They'll keep moving. There are whole industries based on, like, selling a shitty product.
Right.
And then hoping that they're not going to send it back in the mail, and then making a
It's a
quick couple
hassle,
mil and
yeah.
then being out. Because people typically will be like, you know what? And they won't leave a review. They'll just be like, oh, it didn't work the way. How many times have you gotten some shit and it just didn't work the way you worked it, like you thought it would? You didn't go on and like call the company, and like especially if it's like $3-4, some shit like that. You're like, man.
I felt like that was the indication of me becoming a mom when I started taking the time to do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that is the like I think the view or the perception of that is like you's a fucking hater. Like you gonna take your time out and go on Yelp and shit like that. Like, because I don't leave
Sure will.
I don't see that's good because that's
I
what
done
you
went on Dunkin's app, got free coffees because I'm like, they keep messing up my order.
and that's your position in the family. Like, because I'm
Stood
not.
in IKEA's line, like y'all said these lamps were $7.99 online, and they say $9.99 in the store. I need to talk
just-
to a manager. I got 2 of them, and I want my $4.
Yeah.
Hold up the whole line.
Yeah, no,
'cause
that
I
is
want my money.
definitely some parent shit. Yeah,
That's what semen does to a woman. Like we put a baby in a woman, she stared at IKEA.
But it doesn't. I don't know. But it doesn't happen until it's in her. Then you start to think that shit too. Because I'd be like, man, how much
Nah,
is this
you
shit
taking
cost?
up my time.
These lights. I didn't give a fuck about lights until I had
Nah,
kids.
if these-
Now I turn lights off.
This $4 can go towards Pampers. You got to give me my $4. Like, let's go.
And so I don't know if that makes me a good or bad consumer. And Dave's gonna leave it to where it's just me and wifey here while he breaks the seal. So that's weird as fuck. Like Dave's gonna come back to an entirely different
what you wanna
conversation.
talk about?
Yeah, no, I think it's weird because me as a consumer, like, I think I might be ideal from a business perspective because I don't complain. I don't
Right.
voice opinions. I don't say shit. Like, I'll come home and tell you, like, I ain't fucking with
Yeah,
them
but
no more.
sometimes you got to take stuff on the chin.
Well, I think that lends itself.
So we really
to,
going to talk about this while Dave's gone?
Yeah, no, that lends itself. We're gonna keep the interview going. Like,
We not going to talk about nothing else?
I don't know what that made it shit weird, but no, I think it lends itself to a community thing. Like what I really admire is like your focus on the community, because I guess when I asked you earlier about the conflict, I guess it can be surmised in this. Like, if you're trying to build that community, you have to build that healthy relationship between consumers and, you know what I mean, the actual business. So like maybe my silence in my experiences doesn't help the community, because like if I'm trying to build a black business community and I'm silent and allowing, I'm an enabler at that point. Like
I mean, you gotta use your discretion, right? So like people, if you go on to make a review and you already see people are making the same complaint, then it's not necessary.
Yeah.
But if it's a situation where they think that what they're doing is okay and you need to speak up, then it would be nice if you did in a constructive way. You know, some people are really like,
it's hard to be constructive.
it is hard to
though.
be constructive,
especially when it's
hard
like
to be
something
constructive.
simple, like, motherfucker, I ordered this coffee. Like,
why y'all
all
had
you
no
do-
more tartar sauce
oh, why you keep giving me
or
one
hot sauce?
I ordered 3 meals. You gave me one
Or
fucking
catfish.
napkin. Why do I go to Wendy's? Wendy's is notorious for giving a motherfucker one napkin.
Once
or
again,
37 napkins.
We could talk about chains. I ain't gonna never care. Like, I'm never gonna care enough to really, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I really only care about black businesses, but I'm an underdog type of person. So the person who needs the help the most is who I have fish scale on my hands.
Fish scale.
Wait, you selling what you? That's how we fund the family. That's
Yeah, what's saying?
I don't. Yeah, well, I told you was coming back to a totally different thing.
No, I make like some brown butter honey salmon stuff.
Brown butter honey salmon. Damn, that's how they can get like that's what they going down.
It's Sunday.
Well, that's
I got time today.
Daddy works hard, man. You understand? Like, I'm out here working hard, man. I gotta come home to a meal. Like, you feel me?
And our babysitter is pescatarian, so I need to make sure she has some.
I don't know what pescatarian is. I think it's a church in East Liberty. But look, no.
What?
No, man, they be having all these crazy ass diets, all of these diets. Like, I never
I'm
growing
about to
up.
be pescatarian.
Growing up, like, you don't
It do sound
have
like a religion,
you don't
like a
have a
motherfucker.
diet growing up.
What is that when they just eat off
They only eat
leaves?
fish.
No, it's fish.
They only eat
It's
fish.
the only like meaty thing is fish.
And I don't understand that. I don't understand why just fish.
Because chicken is shitty, beef is shitty, pork is
Fish
shitty.
ain't what the.
Well,
Fish
here's the thing about
is-
fish. Most of it is fake, and a lot of it is farmed, and it's not nearly.
I mean,
as,
I only buy wild caught salmon when I buy salmon.
You don't know where that
salmon
fucking
is my.
salmon came
I sure don't. I sure don't.
I don't
nah.
know where the
I
fuck
don't.
that salmon
But
came from.
it makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that it's this much fucking chicken around. Where are they getting all these chickens?
Where they getting all the salmon though? For a lot of
What?
motherfuckers
All
eat
what
salmon
salmon? A lot of people
too.
don't eat. Not like chicken. Salmon.
No, I mean,
Oh,
there's way more chicken
Okay,
than
time out.
salmon. I
Chicken
give
is
Alright.
you
just
that.
meat.
Think. Think about the ocean.
Mm.
Think about fish.
It's very vast.
They run in big ass.
There's a lot of
schools
fish
at a time.
But I don't know if there's. I feel like there's at least in every motherfucking city.
Think about a catch, right? When they got a big ass net of fish. Think how many fish in that thing.
There's a lot of ass fish, man.
Right.
There's a lot of
When
lobsters
do you
and
see that
shit.
many chickens?
I don't listen. When I look at
Ever.
seafood in general,
Have you
though,
seen a chicken coop?
Not
These
live and in
motherfuck-
person.
These
climbing
motherfucking
on each
chickens
other?
sleep on top of each
That's
other.
that's sad.
There's a lot of
That's
that.
sad.
But
It's
like,
a lot.
That's
That's
sad.
a school.
That
of,
means
like,
they're
chicken.
eating shit,
yeah, but if you're looking at the oceans, though,
breathing shit.
there's about to
shit they
be
eat is the
there's
shit they
about to
ate.
there's about to be more plastic
Still
in the
shit.
ocean than there is fish. And here's my thing.
That's my next
when I look
thing,
at like, because I understand chickens in the sense that we have been able to grow these motherfuckers. We don't take care of them and we do all kind of wild shit, but we control how many of them motherfuckers is. We don't control how many fish there really are
And
in the sea.
chickens are
And we're
separated
just
by body
taking that shit out of the sea. So at some
I
point,
cook whole chickens.
like, you could grow your own chickens. I mean, it ain't
You
hard
could
work.
grow your own
Really.
chickens.
I'm talking about
I'm not
lending
gonna do
itself
it.
to the quantity of chicken that's available. Like,
No,
the
because
chicken
we're
sandwiches you get
producing
at
that.
McDonald's.
I ain't
real
talking about
chicken.
that. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
talking about that.
in a grocery
Right.
store. You're not there's certain amount of whole chickens, but the rest of that is one chicken that may be in three
It's
different
not
shells.
see,
one
that's- I
chicken.
don't
If you
even-
got a pack of wings, that's like 8 chickens.
Yeah.
But
and
I'm saying
I don't-
as one chicken can be on one chicken can be on 3 different shelves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, like, I understand chickens. We're growing chickens.
They got wing night.
When you take fish out of the sea, we don't replenish that shit. So you're talking about an ecosystem.
Wait a minute now, because fish lay eggs in the dozens or hundreds or whatever the fuck.
But
Like,
we're
they-
eating them
where the
way
fuck
faster. We're
None of this
eating
shit
fish.
coming from. If you not catching your food, you don't know where the fuck this shit coming from. You have no idea.
I feel better about fish than I do about
I
chicken.
could put organic on anything. I could sell you
I
a
agree
bag
with that
of
too.
weed and call it organic, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't know.
I agree
right?
with that as well.
So here's my thing. I'm gonna die anyway. Okay.
I
Okay.
am gonna die.
I'm gonna die. I don't eat I ain't gonna eat a possum, but
Man,
Do
you
you
know
remember
what,
that
man?
episode of Naked and Afraid where they tried to eat a possum?
If you make
Naked
some
and
Did you see
Afraid, I
that?
don't
banging
trust.
ass possum
Wait.
stew, I might fuck.
Wait.
I don't trust Naked and Afraid.
I don't think
she
you can
has
eat possum.
me watching Naked
Wait,
and Afraid at
Naked
the
and
crib.
Afraid they tried to eat a possum. and it was like rubbery and gross. And
Yeah.
disgusting.
That's what I'm saying. You got to
It's
stew
a
it up.
possum.
It's
So
got to be a stew.
It's a,
What
no,
was
they
this?
tried to like cook it on
Yeah, no,
Naked and
we're
Afraid,
naked and
West
afraid.
Virginia?
They
Like,
ain't.
where the fuck
Yeah.
did they-
it was like Alabama.
Naked
it was Alabama.
Naked and Afraid, Alabama.
They ain't-
Like you ain't even get sent
It
to a
was.
cool
They ain't
ass
even have
island.
it. Yeah, they ain't even have any spices or seasoning on that motherfucking possum, man.
But do they
that's-
ever? Sorry.
On
Well,
possum?
Naked and Afraid.
Listen,
no.
yo, my family from down south, them motherfuckers would catch some
I'm
wild
talking
ass
about white
shit.
people. These
Naked
are
and-
white
And,
people. Or
oh well,
who
yeah.
are
And if you're
naked and
if you're
afraid.
naked and afraid, you ain't doing much of shit but like eating to survive.
But you can take one item, and I would probably take salt or pepper.
Nah, you die. You're not making it.
What would you
Salt
take?
or pepper? What you
would
can eat your own flesh?
What would you take?
I would definitely take a machete.
Yeah, it would be a multi-tool like
I
thing.
could crack
Yeah, I
coconuts.
mean, it would be a
I can
multi-tool.
cut up meat. I
Like a
can kill
Leatherman.
fish.
I ain't
something.
seen not one person with a machete.
I have.
I've seen the one episode that I saw.
I'm
Dude
taking
had a
salt
machete.
or pepper. I'm gonna catch something, kill it, and I'm gonna salt that motherfucker.
You know you're
Lord.
not gonna catch nothing.
No, I'm not gonna.
You
catch
know you're not
I'm
gonna
not
catch
gonna
nothing.
catch a goddamn
You gonna
thing.
smash the fucking salt shaker on the side of a tree to make a sharp.
But here's what I
stick.
can
Ed's gonna
do.
be concerned about making
Okay,
fucking
would you-
loincloths with leaves and shit, and
Oh,
making
I'ma-
sneakers and
I'ma
shit
have
with
some
his
Le-
fucking
I'ma
clothes.
have some
He gonna have
LeBrons
a
on.
fitted
I'ma have
made
some-
out of motherfucking bobo leaves or some shit like that.
Not with a salt shaker go starting off. He ain't gonna make any of that shit.
Well,
with
first
it.
and
What is you?
foremost, understand you are on my platform. This episode can disappear.
Let's go.
Second of all,
No, I'll make sure I make it. I'll make sure I make it.
Second of all, if I don't catch anything, what I'm gonna do is take a leaf branch, put that shit in some water, boil it, and salt the fuck out of that motherfucker, and then I'm gonna have a meal. And while me and my naked ass shorty on this island, I'm gonna treat her well just in case my woman, when I come back home, is gonna be making fun of me. I'm like, you know what? I treated her to a gourmet meal in Alabama because she was eating some bland ass possum, and I threw that salt on that thing.
Go ask that bitch for some money.
I will. Don't ask that bitch for how she be taking. And this is how we argue out because she starts taking quotables from black movies and throwing them. Like we've argued with just quotables from movies. Like that's how you argue in a black household. Like you just gotta, you know what I mean?
That's it.
Baby Boy, Friday, Mo Better Blue, all that shit gets quoted.
I can't wait to say to my son, "Do you pay any bills up in this motherfucker?"
You will not. You will not.
Wait.
You will not, Jody.
He'll be
big
like
fella.
17 now.
You will not, Jody. Big
He'll
fella.
be old.
You will not, because big fella will have a job.
Because I can't drop no MFs on my kids just yet. They're too little.
I
They're
do.
not ready.
I be telling my
No,
son.
see,
shut up.
again, we had this conversation in the first podcast. I definitely MF'd my daughter a couple of times when she was, shitting, and she was just like 0. Like, motherfucker. Like, I mean, the shit just could be like, motherfucker.
I think
Like, but as you get older and they start to understand words and shit.
No,
then,
that's
like,
different. It's
yeah.
it's like in the beginning you can, and when they start to understand, you have to
You
stop.
gotta stop.
Well,
And then
you
when they
kinda gotta-
understand that I still love you,
Yeah,
then you can do
yeah.
it again.
Because I'll cuss
But-
around my kids. I don't cuss at my kid. Like I don't.
Every
yeah,
now and
I mean,
again I do.
Yeah, well, you got to reserve it. You
I don't
can't
know.
just be.
It depends on how you characterize cursing at.
Yeah, I might use a curse while speaking to them, or
Sit your
in
ass
there.
down.
Yeah, but
Right.
like
If
to
it's,
say
if it's
at.
to that level, if it's to 10, let's
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
at. At is like
I've done it in a playful manner, but
Yeah.
yeah.
She said it back though.
Yeah, my daughter. She didn't know, but you know what?
That was crazy.
Low key, that was good for me as a parent because that means she didn't know what ass was.
Sit your
Yeah.
ass down.
She didn't know what
She told-
ass
Yeah.
was.
She told him, "You sit your ass."
She knew that's what you said to get that done. Yeah, I mean with authority. Like ass is just again, it's a salt. It's just a little. It's a little flavor on language. She like if I need to
Came
get
out
this
the
done.
room, like you sit your
But I mean, yeah, because I had never said it to her, and like I'm like super calm. Like I'm a dude. I'm more or less calm. I don't have a high tolerance for shit though, so
Yeah.
I'm quick to be like, don't do this, stop this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But
It
I
was
don't
playful
normally-
though.
You're
Like,
dead,
I think we
so-
were inebriated at the time.
No, don't say that.
That's liquor too.
Yeah, but we not. They not like you.
Inebriated with the drinking part.
It makes you a better parent. I don't care what nobody says.
Oh,
I do. I
it
say
makes
that
you
in
a
my
more
set.
patient parent.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not snapping on your kids, going all wild about the smallest things. You know what I mean? It does make you a better parent. Kids need patience.
It makes you a better. These things in moderation. That is
In
life.
moderation always.
In moderation always. Like in life, these things help you be a better person. And I mean, like whatever stresses that you are
You need balance. You just need balance.
Yeah. And like we live in a society that is high stress. We work 5 days, and that was just the average. 9 to 5, 5 days with 2 days off. If you got a side hustle like every motherfucking body does, you know what I mean? On top of that, and then you want to procreate?
Stressful.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's not those times to just kind of chill out and namaste and all this, you know, I mean, extra time to go out to the resorts that motherfuckers at the higher end have. We ain't got that. We got to, you know what I mean,
Well, you think about it, it's 52 weeks in a year. I get 5 weeks of vacation. Motherfuckers be looking at me like, damn, you get 5 weeks? I'd be like, man, nigga.
yeah.
And then I don't even have shit that I'm comfortable with taking a whole 5 weeks sometimes. Like, I'm like, all right, hold on. Let me save. Like, you got to save a week and roll a week. And I mean, like, my dad, this motherfucker got a whole year that he could take off before he retired. Right now, yeah, because like he works at the post office. They
roll over.
Yo, and like the post office, they had to
time
change
is dope because a lot of companies now don't have a rollover.
Well, the post
time.
office has changed it because when I was in high school, the young lady I was dating in high school, her grandmother like took the last 6 months off and then went back to work for a week just so the retirement was she ain't
like
worked that last
week.
I would never have rollover.
High five of this shit, telling stories.
I would never have rollover.
You will not, and that's
ever.
It's weird because we are different in that way where she is more liberal with taking time and I'm more stringent. But I grew up in.
No, I'm gonna take my shit.
Well, I think the background is funny that because her background, she comes from a family with entrepreneurial, you know what I mean? So they've always been able to set their own schedule and do their own thing. Whereas my parents, they've been in a working environment, blue collar, you know what I mean? Like, and I've adapted that, and like she gets frustrated with me at times because I'm like, she's like wants to schedule all this vacation. I'm like, wait a minute, it's only January. I don't know what the fuck this year is going. You know what I mean,
I'm trying to get it before I die.
And this was my 1 year where my shit was validated because I was dead. You know, like, I was dead for a minute. Like, imagine I ain't had no time. Like, I mean, like,
and this was a time where I actually didn't take off work. I was working from the hospital.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah,
I do kind of remember.
Yeah.
And we've actually had this conversation. But time is a valuable thing. Take your time.
Time is the most valuable.
Your time off.
Yeah,
take it
because you don't know if you getting that shit. To be like, you don't know if you'll experience. And I get that. And that's such the balance of life is like planning for the future, but not knowing if you'll even see it. That is such a crazy fucking like middle ground to be in.
Right, like how to balance enjoying yourself now versus saving up for the future and planning for things in the
yourself. And then once you bring a family into it, and it's like how much for myself, I mean, for them, because they're first. You know what I mean? But at some point, like I gotta, because like if I break down, then they ain't got shit. So like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta make sure I keep going too. You know what I mean? Like, but when it comes to vacation time, man, I take that. I take it early.
You just take your lip gloss off with the scarf.
No, I have to burp.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you might as well belch into the mic if you was gonna say
this is the place if you're gonna do it.
See, this is, and here's where I'm upset because we interviewed, Day's counterpart, and it was all easy breezy. She didn't come at Day at all, but this is a lot.
Well, that's only because I fucked that up. She's been coming at me for like the last year because of that. She's like, because it was late. It was at Black Forge. It was late and shit. We walked in. We had already had a podcast. We was drunk and shit. We was in there, and like it was like a quick 30-minute.
Like Taraji said, you gonna wait.
Yeah, we was in and out. So I'm hearing about it now. You did it right.
Nah, I tried to do it right. Do it right, babe. She ain't gonna co-sign that, but no. So, with Cocopreneur, what examples do you look at of platforms and things like that? That
I'm glad you asked that. There are platforms that I saw. I don't even know if I saw anybody beforehand who did it, but as I did it, people were doing. Things tend to, like atmospheres and social climates tend to lend themselves to people thinking about the same things in different places. Mm-hmm. So there's a young woman by the name of Mandy Bowman who founded the official Black Wall Street, and they just released. No, you don't.
I definitely Mandy Bowman.
She's a Mandy.
I thought that was Randy's
she's a
daughter.
Mandy from. She's from Brooklyn though. Like she's like So she started the official Black Wall Street platform, and they recently released an app. So she's somebody who I really admire for getting the ball rolling. Like, I actually talked to Khamil about getting an app, and he was like, yeah, you know, you're talking about $12,000. I was like, okay, well, I'll
we have
talk
to
to you
throw a
later.
qualifier now.
Bye.
Khamil supported our first Drinking Partners comedy show down at Playwrights.
Oh no, he's
mixed
the
the drinks.
first
That's my
three
guy.
that we had down there. He made
That's
some
my guy, man. Khamil.
wild
Oh, his
shit,
Prohibition
man.
era
Khamal's a good-
stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
prohibition.
that's right.
Oh,
That's before.
man.
That's before. You know, now he engaged. I don't know if he can.
This
make
is
the
why I
alcohol.
do what I do. Let me just say this right now. I am a proponent of keeping everything in the circle. Like, it's no, like, I have 5 sisters. I talk to them all the time.
a lot of sisters.
What are your interests? What are you passionate about? Whatever you're passionate about, you need to own it. Because if you're into law and you are into accounting and you are into education, there's no reason why my business can't go to you for accounting and my kids go to the school district where you are an administrator. Like, I am a full proponent of keeping things in the circle as close as possible.
Yeah.
This is one of those examples.
Keep the family close.
Keep the family close. Your seed marries my seed, marries his seed. Like, I am. Does that nepotism?
Whoa, yeah, that. Well, see, now I don't know because I don't know
give a
who I want my seed to marry.
I'm just saying.
I ain't mad.
I ain't even
you know
get
what
that
I mean?
far
Like
yet.
my man's got a
haven't.
son. You know what I mean? I'm looking at
not
him like I
sure.
don't know if he.
I'm not
for my
sure
daughter,
how
you-
I feel about
you know,
like
Kai is
quote,
a catch. You know what I mean? Your
arranged
son gotta be on
marriages.
Piggity.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure how I feel about marriage. Some people marry for security. Some people marry for love. Some people marry for benefit. And if that's what you do, then do it.
I mean, if it's legal, y'all doing what y'all do. Like, whatever. Me personally, I feel views on marriage or whatever. My daughter, like, you know, if she's going into whatever she believes, like, as long as she is going to be happy doing it, I mean,
Right.
like, and taking care, and she's, you know what I mean, like, making smart decisions. It doesn't matter whether you're single, apart, somewhere in the middle, whatever. Like, I mean, I just want to make sure that she's cool. But, you know, like, marriage or whatever, like, you know, I mean, arranged, I feel like you're taking way out of that. Like, I mean, just
Arranged.
Like, yeah, the arranged marriage. But like outside of that, like, you know, whatever it is.
I mean, it can be arranged to a mutual benefit. I feel like I know people who are in arranged situations in the sense that their parents.
Are you talking about Pittsburgh? Because Pittsburgh got like some pseudo arranged marriages. Like it's motherfuckers that don't really
Politicians
love each other. That
word.
No,
It's-
we
they're
can
just-
keep it real.
They're
It's
marrying for benefit. They're
Pittsburgh
marrying for
bourgeoisie
mutual-
be marrying
Yeah,
each other.
And
yeah.
that's okay.
The upper crust is
That's
all
okay.
fucking
If
each
y'all,
other.
if
the
y'all
royal
got an agreement, if y'all have an agreement where we're marrying because this union creates
Yeah.
this benefit for our
Yeah.
families, but we do whatever else.
Well,
That's your
see,
business.
that's
Like,
that's where my the we do whatever else.
that's your business. Like,
But see,
but it's my
that's-
business if you come at
he's,
me.
But
like,
if
that's
he's fucking
what-
dudes and you're fucking dudes, that's your
But see,
business.
that's
Like,
yeah,
what-
but if he
that's
fucking
what
dudes
the-
and he fucking you not fucking
Don't
me.
fuck
But
him.
that's what
Don't fuck 'em.
That's what the poor don't understand. Like I mean, you look at like Rolling Stone and
The poor
shit,
definitely marry
Hunter
for
S.
love
Thompson and the shit that he reported on the higher end bourgeoisie motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers don't have any boundaries whatsoever. They have unlimited funds and access
They
to
don't
everything.
have any boundaries. They got
So,
any boundaries.
Yeah,
Anything's
but like,
possible.
but they push that on us, and they go, "Oh, you should." I mean, how many motherfuckers be like?
they
it's
always push idealistic stuff on poor
yeah. How
people.
many motherfuckers are like, "Oh, well, gays, nope, can't do that shit," and then they get caught sucking dick in a fucking McDonald's. Like, what?
Yeah, man. At least go to fucking Olive Garden.
Like, but they do. I mean, like, and it's out there, whatever. But on
Olive
the
Garden does not get the Cocopreneur cosign.
Absolutely not.
Olive Garden, nah.
I took
Ooh,
you to
I
Olive
w-
Garden
I
once.
w- Yeah, you did.
Oh, ain't
I
that
wish
a bitch?
there was.
Well, okay. Well, all right.
I wish.
Whatever.
Ain't that a, okay? So
I mean, you were
let
young.
Me pay the Olive Garden tab.
You
Like,
were
didn't-
young.
You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me dining.
You were
on
young.
that motherfucking. Hold on, because this. Okay, so this gonna be like a 3-hour podcast where I just review my relationship and all the money I spent. Because
Nah,
it's crazy.
we all came from a place, man. I mean, there was my
I don't know what that means.
Well, my when I was doing my whole young Mackin thing or whatever, you know what I mean, well, if I bought you a Coke at Jets down in Harmerville,
Jets.
yeah,
the
Jets, that was the
low-ass
under 20,
standard-ass hoes
that
was
was
you
man
doing?
under 21 club
was
or
under
whatever.
21.
It's
I
under
don't give a fuck.
21. They
No, you
got
see,
alcohol.
She trying to act like she don't know about going going to the kitty club where you used to go to the little bar and get a soda.
Yeah, you get a soda and
But
something
wasn't
to hold,
nobody
like,
pulling me at that. Nobody was pulling me.
I pulled plenty at the kitty club.
But you didn't pull me.
You offer a drink.
I didn't know you.
It's a
when I was a
conversation.
kitty.
It's the Legos.
I ain't know you, but if I knew you when I was a kid,
You wouldn't have.
I'd have pulled you.
No.
I'd have pulled you.
Negative.
I'd have pulled you.
No.
We was just at my mom's crib looking at my pictures. I'd have pulled you.
That's a negative.
That's not a negative. Okay, so
You probably
you
wouldn't.
weren't there.
I mean,
You
your
gotta-
jeans were three
I
sizes
just-
too big. Listen.
2003.
And that's fine.
It was 2003.
That's fine. I wasn't with it, is my point. So you would
You
not.
wasn't dating niggas in skinny jeans in 2003.
No, just regular jeans.
And those were regular jeans in 2003.
Wranglers, you was dating Wrangler.
Yeah, like first of all, it's 2003. Second of all, I had the Nietzsche top and bottom.
Oh, the Nietzsche.
with the fresh. Did you see how icy white them Forces were? Them was clean.
I had the
Shape Up was fresh. Quarter carat diamonds in my ear.
Yeah.
I had the little chain on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? I'd have pulled you.
That's a
And
negative.
I'd have pulled you. I'd have pulled up in the OG, the Who ride. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
negative.
Hey yo, because you know
Nah.
we ain't
You
saying hello.
wasn't, but
Hey
you-
yo, and then I'd have got you.
I don't know if you was driving when a Nietzsche was out though. Like
In Ohio, they probably were.
2003. This
2003.
2004. Like,
And yeah, you're right.
Nietzsche was the thing because Pittsburgh didn't get in Nietzsche.
I stayed dealing with Ed.
2000
Like,
no,
he was
by-
telling me all these stories
by
about. I'm like,
2000
well, where's the car now? What the fuck? I didn't even ride. What the fuck? Like, where's the car?
You was
Ain't
in
no car.
college.
But you had it for a minute and then it was going.
Okay, so here's what happened to the
I
car.
missed it. Then he was telling me about taking motherfuckers out.
The
and
stories
I'm like, well, where
and
the
shit,
fuck
like-
am I going? What the fuck kind of shit is this?
You hear all the stories of like you be
Like, what? So I'm
word.
just in the fucking hill chilling, drinking 40s and smoking weed on the playground?
Is that
Okay.
going to come back?
Well, let's
And it did.
Hold on, let's.
And that's
add
the beauty of it. Yeah,
let's
I mean,
add some
you
context to it,
it
'cause
came
one-
back.
Let's add some context.
Let's add some
Let's
context
go.
because now I take you to work in the best
Oh my
in the best car I've ever owned, in the cleanest
It is a clean ass
car I've ever
looking
owned.
ass
I take
motherfucking
you
thing.
to work. Now, second of all, what I did was when I came out of college, I had this 1985 Mercedes Benz. I called it the paid in full, and that shit lasted.
What year was this?
It was it was like 2005.
Yeah, so it was a
like
terrible
2005.
decision.
So it was like, well, no, it was a good decision. It was an $800 car.
Yeah.
It's an $800
But like
car,
you ain't
leather-
fixing. It's you riding that bitch till the wheels fall off and you're done. 'cause
Well,
you're not
only reason
fixing
the wheels fell
85
off is because I didn't know
Mercedes
shit
in
about
2000.
cars.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because I didn't know shit about cars. So I went and got an oil change, but they did not change my transmission fluid. So the transmission went on that motherfucker. Like I bought,
Yeah,
it
when
was
your
bought
trans
off of
go,
a
you
old,
just get rid of the car.
Well, your trans go on an $800 car that's
Yeah,
20
just
years
let
old.
it go.
You
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
gonna.
nah.
Yeah,
Let it go.
I called them motherfucking lot. They was like, yeah, we gonna need 2100. I said, oh no, y'all got a new car. And y'all got a new car. Like, y'all got.
That's how the Jetta bit the dust.
Yeah, like so.
I
it
had
was a nice ass
Yeah, I took
car.
a Jetta to the
It was
I
a
love
nice.
that
It was a
Jetta.
nice joint. Now, what I do want to address is the fact people listening and real niggas listening is like, yo, why are you telling her all your shit? So I've known wifey since I was 19. Yeah, I mean, like we dated, we separated, and we came back. Like it's cyclical.
He wouldn't date me because I was 17.
I did not want to date her at the
That
time.
is weird. At that age, like when I was
17 and
19,
19?
I was definitely not dating women.
17 and 19.
Well, 17
like that's
it's
crazy.
no, it's- I'm
and
not-
I started early. I was a year early.
We were in
I was at
college,
Pitt.
though. We
Yeah,
were
I
in
was,
college.
yeah,
No, I know.
I
I mean,
was in Pitt a year early.
It just,
But I
but
had
at that
I had
age,
a
it
complex.
seems like a big. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
looking back at it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but like
at that
when I
point,
was,
I
yeah,
had a complex. You got to understand, at that time, you know, before I met wifey, I was kind of getting it. You know what I mean? She can attest. You don't want to, but I was kind of getting.
I
I was
don't know
kind of
about
that
that bullshit.
guy. I was kind of that guy. You know what I mean? Like she wants to. She want to act like I wasn't.
I will say, we used to sit in the union and people would be like, oh my God, is that Ed? He's so sexy. And I would be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. See what I mean?
And
See
I would
what
just be like,
I wasn't-
okay.
Oh, but she said I wouldn't.
But he
pull
was
her.
coming to chill with me every night up in Holland
Well, okay,
on the
hold
top
up,
floor.
hold up, you hold up.
Sleeping in the lounge. 'cause my roommate was not with him coming in the room.
Hold up.
Sleeping in the lounge.
Buzzy, shut it down.
that's why I booked a half hour.
Nah, the crazy thing is, I think our love story is kind of cool. Like, I think
it is a dope
it's
ass,
one of
like-
the most organic things, because the one thing I respect about wifey the most is no matter what, no matter where we stood, no matter what we were, we've always been cool. It was
Yeah.
never, I mean, there've been sometimes where we maybe weren't communicating, but there's never been a situation where if she called me, I would not hold her down. And this is regardless of what I was doing.
And this is so annoying. I told my father that exact same thing.
Yeah, that's the realest.
Boy.
That's the unconditional love, and like, I mean, and you that's rare in people in general. You know
He's
what I mean?
my friend.
And like, you know, like romantic love, it flares, it comes in and out or whatever. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I don't motherfucking like you, but like, you know what I mean? No matter what situation I'm in, we could be on like you know what I mean? Fucking back and forth. If you call me, you need something, I got you. You know what I mean? We gonna get you through this. We gonna make sure we all cool. And then I'm gonna start like you again. Yeah, I mean, until we come back on the terms.
Well, like, I think we met so young. Like again, I met her. She was 17 in college. I was 19, and I felt like I was an old head to her. Yeah. And there was motherfuckers had to grow up. That's all it was. Really just growing up. Like now that since I've been an adult and making money and doing the things in my career of choice, like she been by my side. She got me started in comedy. Like I always talk when people ask me how I started. I
remember talking outside. Right. You were like, "Yeah, this needs to crack. Like we ain't out there just having fun, motherfucker." Like
like so it's cool. Like she don't always want to give me credit for being that guy.
What guy?
That guy that you were sitting in the guy you was sitting in the union with, your friends was like, "Ooh, is that Ed? He's sexy."
Yeah, because niggas need to have their fucking head brought a little bit down.
Hey, once you get recorded saying you was in the union and your friends was like, "Ooh, is that Ed?"
And I'm thinking y'all bitches is thirsty. Like whatever. Like
Ed's gonna isolate that shit and play it over and over.
He can play it as much as he wants to.
Because I don't ever get that opportunity.
The point is the kid ain't never been pressed. I ain't never been pressed.
Well, yeah,
and that's exactly why.
Whatever it is, y'all still together. Y'all both got equal bragging rights on that.
The kid ain't never been pressed out.
She been through. She seen a lot of shit happen, and she always been. You know what I mean, she always came out on top.
That's dope, man.
I put it like that. She always came out on top with the fuck shit. But don't. Let's stop put timestamps on things.
It don't matter at this point.
At this point, no. But I need to sell tickets in the future.
They ain't coming. They ain't coming. They already scarred.
No, but I think with the Cocopreneur, just taking it back to it, I think the best thing about you, and I don't know if with these other platforms that you've seen, like with the Black Wall Street and things like that, because under the Black Wall Street, they had some shit on like Shark Tank or something where she was
on Oprah's network.
Oprah's or whatever, but I don't know how humanized she is as an individual. Like I think one of the best things about Cocopreneur is you're humanized. Like you are a consumer. You know what I mean? Right. So if people in your area are trying to consume, you are a consumer.
You know what? Like there's fucking Craig and Angie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're just that and you look at that and like for all of the people that are involved in that, it's free.
Right.
But like they still sustain themselves. And I feel like what you're building is along that vein of like, if I need to get into a black, like I want to support black, I want to support local, I want to support, I mean, to hit up a site or, like, right. Is that something that like you're looking at in the future? Like, I mean,
now
what is
for me, right? Like Cocopreneur is not my dream, right? It's not I'm not going to say it's not my calling because I don't really know just yet, but it's not what I like dream about night and day, right?
You're just
like
good at it. You're not like...
This is one of those things like how they say about black women, I'll do it my fucking self. Mm-hmm. And that's how it happened. But it's like with Mandy, she has a platform with Official Black Wall Street that I'm willing to give my entire self to. Mm. So I've actually talked to Mandy and we've talked about me being a rep for the city of Pittsburgh, right? So those are the types of things that I'm okay with doing. I'm okay with using Cocopreneur to enhance other people's platforms, right? So if you have a directory, I'm willing to give you all the information you need. I'm willing to give you all the businesses that I have in my repertoire and give you that. I'm willing to do that. If I didn't have to do this, I would not do it, but I felt like I needed to do it, right? So I have my own ideas and dreams about it. I personally would like to further my parents' endeavors. I feel like my parents worked really hard to do what they did. Yeah. And I feel like that needs to be carried on. And I feel like that's what I'm most passionate about. That's what I want to do, right? So that's where I want to be. But Cocopreneur is important for where I am right now because for me, my kid needs to grow up in a place and see people who look like them do great things. Yeah. Like my kids need to feel like anything that they want to do is within the realm of possibility. Yeah.
And that's and like and, you know and like
their father is an example of that.
And like when Ed said earlier or whatever about how like the politics and like people in the community that like they were black or whatever, he was like you didn't get along with that. That in and of itself is a privilege that like there are so many black people. I mean that you can dislike some of them and you don't feel a need to support them just because because you're just trying to like.
That's freedom. Right? Freedom.
Exactly.
Freedom is choice.
Yeah.
Freedom is choice.
Yeah.
Like I should be able to choose where I want to go and who I want to do things with and where I want to live. I shouldn't have to decide that I'm going to go here because it's black only. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to decide that I'm only going to, I shouldn't have to pick and choose. Like I should have the freedom of choice. That is true freedom for me. Being able to move how you want to move is freedom. Anything else is just you being tricked into thinking something else. Like I had this conversation about the housing thing and people were like, oh, we should move out to a rural area. No, I want to go where the fuck I want to go. I like city life.
Yeah, I really do enjoy city life.
I like city life. And I want to live in the city, but I want to be around people who look like me.
Yeah.
It's most important for me. I realize how much it influenced me seeing people who look like me. And I need that to happen for my kids. Like I need them to really feel like, and for me, just growing up in America in particular, if we're going to stay here, you need to own whatever you do. If you're into art, you need to own your art. If you want to open up an art gallery, if you want to sell your stuff, privately, that's fine. If you love movies, then you should look into opening up your own production company. You need to be your own person. You shouldn't be paying anybody to do anything. We have enough family members and we have enough friends and we have enough of a network where we should be able to keep all this stuff in-house where you're not paying people who don't hold your interest. We give so much money to people who don't give a fuck about us. Yeah. That's my biggest problem. Yeah. People who actually, I have a huge family.
You got a big ass family.
And it's hard to reach everybody, but you can reach some people.
But I mean, again, a common theme on this podcast when you're talking about local, even black, like you're talking about microeconomics where like the money in the community, giving money to people that that have your same interest in mind. Like whether it's family member, whether it's your neighbor, whether like that local. And then again with black, with black businesses, because that is why when people say like, well, why should I at least look for a black business firsthand?
Would you like me to run it down?
It's because
do y'all need to hit me up real quick?
You know what I mean?
Have a chat
but
about
like
why.
There's so many, but like representation like matters. Like I want to see more of that success. So I like personally, and like with small businesses, you're typically going to pay a little bit more than with say Walmart or whatever. Like, but why am I putting these dollars into this black business or this small business? Because I want to see more people like that. Like representation matters. I want to see more black businesses flourish so that like my kid can come up in a world. But like it's crazy. Like Obama, like my daughter is about to be 11, and her whole life was a black president. That's all she knew.
And then a fucking tyrant.
Like, so like, it's so wild to think about that, like, that she, like, I never thought it was possible. When I was a kid, I didn't think it was possible. And my daughter, that's all she knew.
I never even thought about it.
Yeah,
crazy.
Like, that's all she knew. So that, and like, again, and I'm the first generation that didn't drink from a segregated water fountain. So when I talk about representation, I'm going to support this black business because I want to see more black businesses, because I want these kids to come up in a world where they just think it's, like you said,
it's normal.
It's normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if that's going to take a couple extra dollars to support a small black business as opposed to like, get it cheaper at Walmart or whatever, that's why I'm buying this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, like you got to be careful with bringing up certain business entities. I've had a lot of restrictions on my life.
Walmart don't care about their employees. Like they just don't. Like we're not about to do this.
Like it's a lot of restrictions on my life. Like it's certain.
And you know what makes me real sad though? You know what makes me sad? The fact that that's even a thing. Like I hate. We were talking about food earlier. I hate that I have to go places and think about what the fuck I'm about to eat. Like, I hate that I have to think about what I'm about to buy and what's in it.
Yeah.
Why y'all can't just be upfront and be straight and be
That's
good?
because you're too smart. I'm dumb
That's
enough.
a lie.
I'm dumb enough to just put shit
That's
in
a
my
lie,
face. I really eat a lot of. I eat a lot of garbage.
No, y'all
I know
not.
it's garbage.
Y'all not dumb enough. Y'all smart enough. Y'all, like you said, you know you're gonna die. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be happy.
I look at it as the gym exists. Whatever the fuck I eat, I could burn all that.
Yeah, I don't even.
I mean, I guess, but you know,
I don't have the gym. I don't have that excuse. I just.
You got them.
I'm aware.
She can't be a personal trainer.
I know. I do have it. I have
That's
available
wild.
to me.
Where's your muscle mass day? Where the fuck is your muscle mass?
I don't use it at all. I don't use any of that shit. I just am like, you know what? I'm gonna get as much as I can.
Dave probably has really strong
before it's
calf muscles.
No, Dave probably got some weird strong shit like an index finger. Really strong ass index finger. Like,
oh, them groceries?
Yeah, with the
one trip. Always one trip.
Nah,
it does not matter.
It's the thumb pressing that button on that pen. His thumb is strong as hell.
Just got that muscle working.
He's a crazy thumb wrestler. Pro.
Shit. So we've been having a lot of fun. We gotta close this out. So what do you think, or what are your views for the future of Cocopreneur?
For the future, again, I would like to lend myself to people who are more, I guess, and I'm committed to this, I am, but people who are more passionate about it, people who I feel like it's their life work. I want to commit myself to that. So for them, I want to be able to extensively, like Official Black Wall Street has like 7 or 8 listings, some of which are not even open anymore. I want to be able to get that on point. Like, I want that to be up to date. Hours of operation are correct. Websites is correct. That's what I want. I'm good for that for Cocopreneur. I want to continue to present opportunities for people. It's sometimes hard to get funding. I want to continue to push people's funding efforts forward. There are a lot of people who are looking through Kiva loans and Indiegogo and Kickstarter, things like that. I want to continue to push their campaigns and get them funding for things, because community funding is extremely effective. And people don't realize that, but I want to keep pushing those initiatives for them. I may get a directory. It depends. Like if I can kind of partner up with Mandy, then I don't need to do that fucking work.
Yeah.
Like I'm good with that. Like I'm good. If they can just get the app, and the app is free. Like if people can download that app and Pittsburgh is fully stocked with businesses, then I'm good. I don't need to create the directory. I'm not here to necessarily, again, I really just did it because I felt like there was a need for it. But if somebody else wants to do this shit, come do it. Because that leaves me freedom from other things. I just think it's important work, and it needs to be done, so I'm doing the work.
You're filling a void.
Filling a void.
And you're doing it for the love at this moment.
For the love of Black people. I love people in general, but there's an affinity I have to Black people. Mm-hmm. There is a niche that needs to be filled in Pittsburgh in particular in regard to Black people and ownership, and we need to realize that there's a lot of power in ownership. If we're talking about businesses, if we're talking about real estate, there's a lot of power and equity and ownership in this country. I mean, even if you don't agree with the game, we're in it, so you need to play it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really what I have. I want people to keep coming to me for. I'm very open and I'm very available. When people hit me up via DM or message, I generally will hit back within the same day and give answers. So, any questions you have, anything you're looking for, any ideas you might have, any reservations you might have about things,
if you
hit
looking
me
to
up.
Just build a motherfucking app on something, I mean, like, oh, you know what I got? I mean, and fuck around.
I mean, let me know, because I'm a connector. Me neither, and I'm gonna glance over it. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it going, because we ain't gonna put Zay on blast like that. But I just, I'm
just saying. I think a Coco app would be dope as shit.
I mean, I know you just put up a post about Jay, whatever, and not saying shit or whatever you said.
Listen, man,
but fuck with me, I got it. So, if y'all have any questions about things, always hit me up. If you are a Black business and you're looking for funding, if you are a Black business and you want some free marketing, because that's generally what it is. Or if you're looking for anything at all, please send me a message. I am extremely receptive. I'm always willing to talk. If you want to call me, I'll pick up the phone and talk if you want to talk.
She's not giving out her personal number on this podcast.
No, but if you hit me up and I'm okay with you, I will give you my phone number and we can talk about things.
Nah, she not. No phone numbers. Shame.
I was waiting for the backup. Like
I have had some weird experiences where I'm like, are you really hitting me up or are you like,
Nah.
But,
if you got testicles, you need to hit her through me.
Oh, is this nigga sleeping?
And you know what? Some of y'all got ovaries. You gotta hit her through me too.
That's true as well, because I've gotten some of those vibes. But because I don't know. But yeah, hit me up if ever you need anything. I'm very receptive and I'm very open and I'm really here for the people and I'm here for the community. And let me say this real quick: I am so not anti-white. I'm just very pro-black. Again, because people are we're the underdogs. We're the underdogs. We need the attention. We need the help. You help the kid that's most in need.
Yeah.
Like if you got a needy kid, that's
Black Lives Matter, because those are the motherfuckers
who need it most.
That are getting killed most often.
Yes.
You know what I mean, you
need to stick up and remember, if you're not a straight white male, the shit could be you next. So you need to keep that shit in mind. Like,
I mean, intersectionalism,
especially white women, because y'all be on some other shit. But
intersectionality matters, and
y'all think y'all immune to shit.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, they voted. They
y'all
voted
better,
for Trump.
Let me tell you something right now. I don't have time for this shit.
Grab him by the pussy.
All I wanted to do was ask you where they could find you. This shit turned to a conversation we having on our living room.
I'm just saying. I'm about to say this gets real deep. So we're not going to take it all the way there. But it gets real deep.
Where can they find you though if they do want to reach out to you?
I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Cocopreneur PGH. So that's COCAPRENEUR PGH. So it's cocoa like hot cocoa, and it makes a preneur.
A couple brews in there. That's dope.
Did I? I thought about it real hard. Like I had to see the letters in my mind. But
I don't know if she spelled it right.
I don't know either. CO.
I think it's COCOA.
COA. Did I not say that?
I said COCA. So
no, that's not right.
Yeah.
COCOA, like hot cocoa. PRENEUR PGH.
You know I was gonna.
Good job.
They let the people know where they can find you.
We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners, and you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod.
I'm gonna do y'all rundown one day.
Hey, listen, we want to thank Wifey for coming through. This is a long time coming. You know what I mean? Check out Cocopreneur. If you're black or white, man, these are good businesses on the website. And for those who don't know how to do good business, I want to leave you with a couple of profound words from Frank White, profound black lyricist. Number 10, a strong word called consignment.
Oh my God.
Strictly for live men, not for freshmen. If you ain't got the clientele, say hell no, because they gonna want their money rain, sleet, hell, snow. Follow these rules, you have mad bread to break up. If not, 24 years on the wake up. Slugs hit your temple, watch your friends shake up. Nah, I ain't gonna do all that. Because they're going to Mike and
Drinking Partners is
Jacob.
The crew.
But as always, yo, we want to thank Cocopreneur for coming out. You know what I mean? Support local business, whether it be black or white. You know what I mean? Support local. Support the people in your. Support black business, definitely. But make sure we circulate them dollars, man. If you want your community, if you want your immediate community, your city to improve, you have to circulate those dollars here. And in the words of Wifey, fuck Walmart. We are Drinking Partners. Drinking Partners is the crew up in Kansas, the family. We out of here. Okay, cool.
Epicast.